Today, we're diving into a piece of digital plumbing that's become absolutely essential, not just for the crypto world, but maybe, just maybe, for Wall Street itself. And you better believe the big players are starting to notice. And here is the headline that got everyone talking. Grayscale, one of the biggest names in digital asset management, has filed to turn its Chainlink trust into a spot ETF. I mean, that is a huge signal of institutional interest right there.
So that really tees up the big question for us today. What is Chainlink really? What does it do that's so important that traditional finance is suddenly leaning in and paying this much attention? Let's break it down.
To really get Chainlink, you first have to understand the problem it was built to solve. And it's a pretty famous challenge in the space, known simply as the Oracle problem. It all kicks off with these things called smart contracts. Just think of them as automated if this, then that deals that run on a blockchain. You know, if a condition is met, then an action happens automatically. No lawyers, no middlemen. Sounds great, right? Well, there's a little bit of a catch. See, the very thing that makes blockchains so secure is that they are, by design, totally isolated. They're like these sealed digital vaults. They can't just reach out and grab data from the outside world. They can only see what's going on inside their own four walls. And this creates this massive divide. You got the super secure, verifiable on-chain world. And then you'll have the off-chain world, which is, well, literally everything else. We're talking stock prices, sports scores, weather data, you name it. All the useful information our world runs on. Smart contracts desperately need that info to do anything interesting, but they just can't get to it. And this, right here, is where Chainlink enters the picture. It was created for this exact purpose, to be the secure bridge that finally connects these two separate worlds. The fancy term for this kind of bridge is an oracle. But here's the key. Chainlink isn't just one oracle. It's a whole decentralized network of them. And that's the secret sauce that makes it so secure and trustworthy. So here's how it works in a nutshell. A smart contract says, hey, I need the price of Ethereum right now. Chainlink's protocol then sends out a bunch of independent oracles to go find that price from all different sources. Then, and this is the clever part, they all get back together, compare notes to make sure the data is accurate, and only then do they deliver one single, verified answer back to the smart contract. It's all about never trusting a single source. Okay, so we've got the what and the how down, but let's get to the real heart of it. Why does any of this matter? Why is building this bridge such a game changer? Well, because without this data bridge, blockchain is kind of stuck in its own little bubble. But with Chainlink, you suddenly unlock this whole universe of real-world uses. DeFi apps can get accurate prices to avoid meltdowns. An insurance policy can automatically pay out the second a flight is confirmed to be delayed. You can track a shipment across the globe. It's what makes the blockchain actually useful for you and me. Now, this brings us to the money, to the economics of the whole system. To really understand Chainlink's value, you've got to look at two very different ways it makes money. And Chainlink's co-founder, Sergey Nazarov, actually framed the problem perfectly. He said, you know, everyone can see the activity happening on the blockchain, but there's also all this work happening with huge companies off-chain. So the big question was, how does all that enterprise value find its way back to the network itself? So first up, you have the on-chain side. This is what most people see. Chainlink is an absolute monster in decentralized finance, powering more than 65% of the entire market. This is a massive, very public revenue stream for the network. But then you've got the off-chain revenue. This is quieter, but it's huge. It comes from deals with big companies that pay for things like help setting up the technology, ongoing support, and using Chainlink's more advanced services for data and identity. This has been a really fast-growing part of their business. So how do you connect these two very different revenue streams? The answer is this really cool bit of tech called payment abstraction. Honestly, the best way to think of it is as a universal translator for money. It doesn't matter if the revenue comes in as crypto fees from a DeFi app or as US dollars from a corporate contract, this layer converts it all into Link, the network's own token. And that is the brilliant solution. Thanks to payment abstraction, every stream of revenue, both on-chain and off-chain, gets funneled into one single place, the Chainlink Strategic Reserve. This system makes it crystal clear how every bit of adoption, no matter where it comes from, directly adds value back to the core Chainlink network. It answers Sergey's question. All right, so let's zoom out and put all the pieces together. Now that we know all this, what does it really mean when we see that news about a potential ETF? First, just let this number sink in again. Over 65% market share. This shows that Chainlink isn't some pie-in-the-sky speculative idea. It is established, it is critical, and it is the dominant piece of infrastructure in a multi-billion-dollar sector of the economy. And that's really the big takeaway here. When a firm like Grayscale makes a move like this, it's not just about launching another financial product. It's a massive vote of confidence. It's Wall Street looking at this technology and saying, yep, that bridge between the blockchain and the real world, that's essential, and it's here to stay.
So, the bridge is built. It's strong, it's secure, and it's connecting two worlds that are only going to get closer. That really just leaves one question. What amazing things are people going to build on top of this bridge next?